And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vassell.
Hey everybody, it's Ryan Metzler here again, and today we're going to be taking a look at yet another Kickstarter preview. This time we have Off Your Rocker, which is a game you saw Tom preview a little while back. They're in the midst of their Kickstarter campaign right now, and I have a chance to take a look at it myself through this mini sample which they provided me, which is just some of the cards from the game. Now, this is a game in which the players are going to be taking the part of patients visiting a psychologist. One player will be the psychologist, and all the other players will be a representation of a different type of affectation that the psychologist is trying to figure out. So all of the players will act out one quirk, and everybody and one player will try and guess what that quirk is by asking normal psychologist type questions. You know, how was your day today? How does such and such make you feel? The game plays 4 to 12 players. So real quick, why don't we take a look at what you do with these cards inside this box. I'll show you how the game plays, and then I'll come back here and sum it all up. So inside of that little packet you saw are the cards for Off Your Rocker. Now the actual game itself is going to come with many more cards. You see I only have a few here, but the game itself will come with 200 cards which are written on front and back with 2 different traits for playing on each side. So you're going to get lots and lots of traits, 800 traits on these cards. In addition, you're going to get some scoring cards just to help you keep track of what the current score is, and you're going to get a sand timer to keep people from taking too long in the game trying to guess those traits. But on these cards, you'll see, as I said, they're double-sided. You're going to have traits, and it's going to have one trait that everybody's going to read except for the psychiatrist or psychologist. So, for example, the trait might be, players think that they are all supervillains. So every player is going to be representing a supervillain in this case. They could be just a generic supervillain. Maybe you want to pick a specific supervillain that you are, but it doesn't matter. You have to answer like you're a supervillain anytime that the psychologist asks you a question. And the psychologist is going to be put out of the room while the players are choosing which one of these to do, and then he's going to come back. And when he comes back, he's going to have the chance to ask each player one question. So he might ask a question like, what did you do today? And the answer might be, you know, I tried to take over the world, of course. It's the same thing I do every day. But you get the idea. The player's going to go, they're going to ask questions. Each player is going to answer in a way that they think is representative of whatever the trait is on the card. So it could be players think that they are talking dogs. Maybe they're really interested in getting a treat, or they really need to go outside and chase the mailman down. It could be that the players think that they are werewolves. So maybe they do some howling, or maybe they just answer that they're really worried about the upcoming full moon. You get the idea. And the player who is the psychologist is going to try and guess this. They get one question to each player, and after that the timer flips over, and they have until that timer runs out to ask questions of the remaining players, able to interrupt them at any time and move on to the next player that they'd like to ask a question to in order to try and guess this trait before the time is up. If the psychologist gets the trait right, they're going to get 1 point card, which are cards with points on them, and the players are going to vote amongst themselves, not including the psychologist, as to who best acted out the trait not able to vote for themselves. The player with the most votes in that case is going to get a point card as well, and you're going to continue on in that manner. The first player to get at least 6 points, or if there are no more point cards remaining, is going to be the winner of the game. Either once you reach one of those 2 conditions, whoever has the most points will be the winner. And there you have it. That is Off Your Rocker by Stratus Games, right now in their last week of Kickstarter, looking for some more pledges. If this looks like a game that is interesting to you, if you want to get together with your friends and try and act out funny situations, try and figure out what they're acting out, and have a little bit of creativity in your game night, check this game out. You can pledge to them right now for the next week. I'm sure that Stratus Games and all of the other pledgers for Off Your Rocker would really appreciate your support.